So basically this cultivation, or we call meditation, is really bhavana. The real meaning of the word bhavana is cultivation. What are we trying to cultivate? Cultivating the Eightfold Way. And the Buddha taught the Eightfold Way. The first two, right view and right intentions, has to do with gaining some initial level of wisdom, basic panya, right, to understand the realities in the Buddha Dharma. And then the next three are cultivating the body, sila, morality, training the body to behave in wholesome ways, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. But the third part is really about meditation, samadhi, cultivation of tranquility, beginning with right effort. That means we use the proper method to train our mind, and that leads us to a level of training where we can then become more mindful, mindfulness training, Samma Sati. And from there, we can then cultivate the mind further and gain the level of harmonious equilibrium, mental equilibrium. Sometimes they call this right concentration, Samma Samadhi. Basically, this is what meditation can do for us. We'll just take a look at the various aspects of meditation. The proper kind of meditation we should be learning as Buddhists is based on the Eightfold Way. Cultivation of the Sublime Eightfold Way according to the original teachings of the Buddha as found in the Sutta Vinaya. That means if you were to attend any meditation lessons, anyone teaching meditation, ask the teacher, are you teaching in accordance with the Sublime Eightfold Way? Very important, right? Follow teachers who are teaching in accordance with this Eightfold Way. And basically, there are a lot of variations and distortions we have to be aware of. Individual teachers who may personalize their own interpretation of the Dharma, and they may begin to make variations to the teaching of the Buddha. They modify what the Buddha teach. They are not following the Sublime Eightfold Way. It is a departure from the Sublime Eightfold Way, which is the Arya Magga Bhavana. Arya Magga Bhavana is the cultivation of meditation according to the Eightfold Way. So they may be departing from that. You have to be careful of that. Also, some variations arise because people follow commentaries. And one of the most famous, in fact the most famous commentary followed by a lot of people is Buddhaghosa's Visuddhimagga. So basically that is commentary. That is not the direct teaching of the Buddha. That is a commentary from Buddhaghosa. And then there are different countries with their own versions, their own modifications because of their own cultures and so on. So Myanmaris will have a different method, right? Thais will have a different method, Sri Lankans will have a different method, right? And variations also from different traditions, especially in some countries where their version of Buddhism is distorted by their own traditional beliefs. And I'm referring specifically to meditation taught by the Tibetans. They are not purely Buddhist. The methods taught by the Tibetan are not purely taught by Buddha. You have to be aware. They are a blend of Tantrism, Tantric Buddhism, asceticism, yoga, and various other forms of traditional Tibetan shamanistic practices, which are from ancient times, even predating the time of the Buddha. You have to be aware of that. And finally, the most popular form of meditation in America today is transcendental meditation, which was taught widely throughout the corporate world. So you have to be aware that when you Google or go to YouTube to look at various scientists' explanation of meditation, be careful. Some of them may be referring to transcendental meditation, and therefore it is not relevant to Buddhist meditation. So you have to be careful that you only follow Buddhist meditation. Okay? And Buddhist meditation is based on the cultivation of two stages. The first is called Samatha Bhavana, which is the cultivation of tranquility, and the second is called Vipassana Bhavana, which is the cultivation of insight. Samatha Bhavana is basically learning how to relax the body and bring the emotion to a level of stillness, cessation of the affective process, chitta. bringing the chitta to a level of stillness, stopping emotional excitement, emotional reactions. And vipassana, bhavana basically is to cultivate this unshaken wisdom, panya, into this unstable, insecure and impersonal realities of the world, realities of life, right? Anicca, dukkha, anatta, which is also commonly translated as impermanence, suffering and non-self. These are the threefold realities of life. And also cultivating full comprehension of the Four Noble Truths. So that's what Buddhist meditation really is trying to cultivate. And definition of samatha is to still the chitta, bringing the chitta to a stillness, and the mind becomes unified, and that stillness of mind leads to samadhi. And cultivation of vipassana is distinct seeing. V means clear or distinct. Passana means seeing, meaning seeing with the mind. And that leads you to distinct seeing of the realities, wisdom, panya. Right? So basically these are the main forms of Buddhist meditation. And the Buddha has pointed out that the stages to awakening, we begin with anapanasati, and anapanasati leads to satipatthana, satipatthana leads to satabhujanga, satabhujanga then leads us to full comprehension, panya, and liberation or emancipation, vimutti. So it's only through that we become awakened and liberated from suffering. So basically that's what the Buddha taught about meditation. And just very quickly on this last part about the cultivation of right effort, right mindfulness and right concentration, Samma Vayama is the beginning of learning how to meditate properly. I want to highlight this because this is a very important part. If you attend any meditation retreat, you have to be sure that the teacher is able to teach this Samma Vayama, right? And basically it is referring to the ability to tame our emotions. See, when our body is stressed and the mind is distressed by mental suffering, we must learn how to apply our thinking mind, the mano, to become conscious, right? To be able to be aware of what's going on. Cultivating this awareness of what's going on requires the use of our intelligence to have this sustained, conscious, focused attention on what's going on inside, introspective attention going on inside, right? When we can do that, we can actually stop the emotion. It's only by bringing the attention inwards and becoming aware of what's going on inside, then we are able to stop this emotion through conscious relaxation and introspective attention. And conscious relaxation basically means we bring this biochemical activity in the body to subside so that there's no more activities, biochemical activities in the body, and then tame the mind, calm the mind, because the relaxed body suggests absence of threats, and then the mind can become calm and bringing the chitta to a level of stillness. When we learn to relax with conscious relaxation, it is actually breaking the biochemical chain reaction. When we learn to pay conscious, focused attention, we are actually stopping this mental proliferation because of our memory, imagination, expectation, the I, me syndrome. And these are the two practices, samvara and bhavana. Samvara is prevention, bhavana is abandonment. And very quickly, right effort, right, harmonious exercise, my teacher calls it, Samma Vayama, is made up of these 4 steps. So make sure that the meditation teacher that you go to, he must first teach you how to apply these 4 steps. First, samvara. Samvara is guarding your senses, guarding your sense doors, preventing your sense organs from picking up unwholesome sights, sounds and so on. Not to pay attention to anything that may be unwholesome. So this will prevent the arising of unwholesome states. That means you will not accumulate new unwholesome states. if you guard your sense doors. Don't pay attention to things that are unwholesome. That means guard your senses. Beware of what you see, hear, smell, taste and touch. And when you recognize that it may be unwholesome, take your attention away from it. Don't pay attention to it. So this is samvara, guarding your senses. But sometimes in the past, we may have seen things that are unwholesome. And then it goes into our memory. And then it arises from memory, not because of our sense organs. So when it arises from memory, we practice bhavana. Bhavana is called abandonment. When it arises, we learn to abandon it, let it go, let it be. Don't pay attention to unwholesome thoughts that arise. So in other words, we may have accumulated defilements, accumulated these unwholesome thoughts, and when they arise, we learn to let it go, learn to abandon. That is bhavana. So that means you don't pay attention to memory, imagination, expectation when they arise and they bring up unwholesome thoughts. So that's bhavana. And at the same time, we practice bhavana to cultivate developing new wholesome thoughts, cultivating wholesome states that have not yet arisen. Cultivate good thoughts about the Dharma, right? Understanding the insight into realities. And finally, we must learn to maintain these good thoughts, which means that's anurakana. That means we maintain and perfect the good thoughts, the wholesome thoughts that we have already cultivated. So these are the 4 steps. These 4 will help you in your meditation practice. So whoever meditation teacher you go to, make sure that he's able to teach you these things. If he's not able to teach you these things, he's not teaching right effort. Because that's what right effort is all about. Right effort is about these 4 things. And these 4 things are called Chattari Samma Padana. Right? The 4 right strivings. Some call it the 4 right strivings, the 4 right efforts. That's what right effort is all about. And that's the beginning of learning meditation. So if the teacher can't teach this to you, go to a teacher who can. Right? Even when you learn meditation at the beginning, even before you go deep into it, these are some of the benefits you can gain right away. Right from day one when you begin to learn meditation. It slows down your heart rate, it improves blood circulation, it lowers your blood pressure, enhances your immune system, it helps you calm your anger, fear, anxiety. May not get rid of it entirely, but helps to calm it and relieves you of depressive moods. But as you practice and learn meditation deeper and you become more diligent at it and become more skillful at it, you will begin to gain these other benefits. You will learn how to abandon emotional excitements, because then you are practicing right effort. You're learning to abandon emotional excitements. You are learning to tame your lust, hatred and delusion with the right effort. You're able to cultivate this introspective attention or introspection, able to see what goes on inside you. And then you're able to develop a mind that is working in harmony, cognitive consonance, and where the chitta and the mano are not in conflict. Right? You bring them to a level of stillness. This level of cognitive consonance is actually called ekagata, commonly translated as single-pointedness. Basically, it means the 2 minds are now working as one. That's why it's called single-pointedness. The 2 minds are working as one, ekagata. And then you're able to instill this mental equilibrium. Your mind is still, your mind is peaceful, your mind is at peace. And finally, from there, you will gain vipassana. You will be able to see insight into realities, vipassana, distinct seeing. And then you will have panya and you will become liberated, vimutti. Okay? So I hope that helps you.